If you're a fan of any sports team, then you will know just how important logos can be. As a fan of that team, you'll spend a lot of time looking at their branding. And it goes without saying that in any league, there are definitely some logos and some brands which are stronger than others, and the NHL is no different. And maybe it's because I work in marketing for a living and I spend a lot of time looking at branding and designs and how things look and how things are marketed. But I love looking into how sports teams come up with all their logos and all of their brands and the meaning behind all of them. So I thought for today's video it would be fun to rank all NHL logos from worst to best in my opinion. I'm strongly of the belief that when it comes to logos and brand designs that it is very subjective, and what some people like, other people may not. I also don't think that there are any bad logos in the National Hockey League. I actually think that all of them are like pretty strong. There's just some that I like a lot more than others, and I thought it would be fun to rank them today from 32 all the way to 1. But this is definitely my opinion. Feel free to disagree in the comments down below. Leave me a comment telling me what your least favourite and favourite logos are in the NHL. Just quickly before we get started, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm Victoria and I talk everything hockey and the Toronto Maple Leafs from across the pond in Scotland. I make lots of videos about all things hockey, so if you'd be interested in that, then hit the subscribe button. And let's get started on ranking every NHL logo from worst to best, in my humble opinion. And so, in last place, someone had to go last. Now, as I say, I don't actually think that there's any NHL logos which are bad by any means. I just think there's some that I like less or that I don't think are quite as good as they could be. And so in that last bottom spot, I have got the Washington Capitals. Now mind you, in this list I'm only considering primary logos, and in terms of the Capitals, I think their secondary logo, the one with the eagle's wings, that one is far better than their primary logo. Also, take a shot every single time I say logo in this video because I feel like it's going to be a lot. The design just feels a little simplistic for me. I don't like to see word marks as logos. I just don't like that. It just doesn't feel as strong as a proper, more traditional logo to me, and so this one had to be in bottom spot. In 31st place, second from bottom, I have got the Carolina Hurricanes. Now I can see the vision, I see the concept. It's meant to be as if you were looking down at a hurricane from up above, so a bird's eye view of what a hurricane looks like. I get that. I get it. I can see what you were trying to do there, but it just completely missed the mark for me. I've never liked this logo. I don't love Carolina's branding as a whole. It's not my favourite. But generally, I just like logos that are super identifiable, and I don't think that anyone who isn't an NHL fan would look at that logo and be like, yeah, that's the Carolina Hurricanes. In fact, I'm not even sure people would register that it's a hurricane. I think they would be like, what are those shapes? So even though I can see where they were trying to go with that, it just doesn't quite work for me, so it's definitely one of my least favourite logos by far. In 30th spot, I have got the LA Kings. It just feels a little bit bland, and even though I like the sentiment behind the fact that their logo honours the Gretzky era, which was obviously very popular with fans, ultimately it is still just a grey and black logo with not too many details included in it, especially in comparison to other NHL teams, so that's why it's ranked so low. In 29th place, we have got the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I've just never been a fan of their logo. Aside from the fact that I'm a Leafs fan and they are exactly the same shade of blue as the Leafs, and it is honestly a visual nightmare watching those two teams play each other sometimes because the colours are just the same. Like, they're just so completely the same. But take the colour out of it, the logo itself, it's very modern. It's maybe a tad too modern. You know how they kind of, in the modern era of design, sometimes things are overly simplified and there's definitely a sort of minimalist vibe going on. I feel like Tampa's logo definitely has that, even though it's not even that new of a logo, obviously. And fun fact, the logo was actually created in like 5 seconds because one of the founders drew it on the back of a napkin. So although I don't think that you need to pour tons and tons of time necessarily into a logo design, I feel like you can tell that it was done quickly. Typically, if something is done in 5 seconds, I don't think it's going to be the best that it can be, and I think that that is the case for the Tampa Bay Lightning's logo. In 28th spot, I have just realised that I've got the two Florida teams next to each other. I've got the Florida Panthers. They're a team who definitely had a better logo before. Their logo from the 90s until 2016 when they rebranded was really good. That leaping panther, I think that was honestly a really solid logo. It's also the fact that this is shaped like a shield, which I know has a purpose. It's a nod to the 101st Airborne Division logo, so I can understand the sentiment behind it, but I just don't love a bad shape for a hockey team. Feels more like a football team to me. Don't love it for a hockey team. In 27th place, I have got the New York Islanders. Now, if you know me, you will know that I have a personal dislike towards orange and dark blue colour combinations. I don't know why, because they contrast, like it makes sense, but I just don't love those two colours together, and the Islanders are the epitome of I don't like these colours next to each other. Just a personal preference, there is no professional reasoning behind that. I'm just not a fan. So combine that with the fact that their logo it's okay, but it is very simple. It's just a bit of a no for me personally. In 26th spot, I've got the Winnipeg Jets. It's not a bad logo by any means, but it just somehow doesn't quite hit the spot for me. It feels like the maple leaf isn't well integrated to the jet that overlays it. I can't exactly explain it, but I just feel like they're not intertwined very well. It doesn't look like as cohesive a logo as it could be. I think that they could definitely keep those elements and make it into a better logo for sure. And maybe take away the circular design. Maybe keep the maple leaf and the jet, take away the circle design around it maybe make it into a different shape. I think that could be something really exciting if they were to ever undergo a rebrand. In 25th spot, I've got the Nashville Predators. I like the fact that they have a unique colour scheme. They definitely are unique. You see that colour, you immediately know that it's to do with Nashville. It's quite a fun, upbeat colour, which I feel like is perfect for Nashville. In my mind, if Nashville were to be a colour, it would be yellow, like the place itself would be yellow for some reason, so it correlates well in my mind anyway. But ultimately, it is just the head of a saber-toothed tiger, which even though it's cool, it just doesn't quite have the same details as a lot of these other teams do. I also feel like it's getting really dark in here, and it's because I think it is about to rain really hard, so if the lighting changes, blame the weather, not me. And also daylight savings, because it's 3 p.m. and sometimes it's dark by then. Unfortunately. In 24th spot, I have got the New Jersey Devils. It's a clean design, I won't lie. I think it is quite well integrated in comparison to the Winnipeg one. It does feel very well intertwined. The fact they have the initials of the team with the devil horns, with the colours, it's definitely good, but it is still quite simplistic and it is just kind of letters at the end of the day. So even though I do like it, I couldn't feel any justification for ranking it any higher than this. In 23rd spot, I have got the Columbus Blue Jackets. I feel like their Canon design, the older logo, is so much better. I do really like that logo. Their logo from the early 2000s, so good. And even though their one now is it's a good patriotic nod, of course, and I appreciate the fact that there are deeper meanings behind it. But from a design point of view, it just doesn't quite do it for me. And I remember I had to, like years ago now, look into what the logo meant because I just didn't understand it, which is totally fine. It doesn't have to be obvious what a logo means. But it's just never quite hit the spot for me. I don't dislike it by any means. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just not for me, I guess. In 22nd spot, I've got the Edmonton Oilers. Again, what's letting it down for me is the colour combination because I just don't really like those colours together. However, I do feel like the design of Edmonton's logo is really good. I love the fact that it looks like everything is dripping and running down, which obviously is very effective given that it's meant to be oil. I do think a teardrop design would be even better than just the circular one, so there's still maybe some scope for improvement there, but I don't mind that logo at all. I do not mind it. In 21st place, I've got the Dallas Stars. They're in this, I would class this quite a solid realm within my overall rankings, and they're mainly there because of their colours. It's very bold and I really like a team that does that. Side note, if the NHL is going to expand further, I want a team to pick purple as their colour. Please just someone pick purple. I'm begging you. Because purple is a sick colour for a sports team. In the league we have over here, we have the Glasgow Clan and they play in purple and their brand is so good. Like, so good. So imagine what you could do with a purple theme on an NHL budget. I just want an NHL team to pick purple. Please. I know we had the old LA logo which had the purple and stuff in it, but I want a team to go all in on the purple thing because I think it would be really cool. But anyway, I do like the fact that Dallas go for the green. It's very bold, it's very unique. That shade of green is theirs, no one else plays in that. But what then lets me down is that I don't feel like their logo reflects that same boldness. It feels like quite a safe option of a logo, and I would really like them to have their logo reflect the same sort of bold, outgoing thing that their green colour scheme does. I think it could be a little more fun than what it is just now. It is just literally a D with a star behind it, and even though it's a clean kind of classic looking logo, I think it could be a lot bolder in alignment with their bold colour scheme. How many times did I just say bold? In 20th spot, I've got the Calgary Flames. Now perhaps it's because this is the logo that I see the most commonly replicated out with the NHL. Guildford Flames of the EIHL, I am looking at you. Maybe that sours me off it just a little bit, but I do think that it is still a pretty simple design. It's boosted for sure by the colours, which feel quite unique again. Very on brand, of course, the oranges and the reds for the Flames. I do like that, but the logo itself is quite simple, and so I can't rank it any higher, but the brand consistency does boost it up for me a bit. Number 19, we've got the Vancouver Canucks. Their current logo is not as good as their Flying Skate logo in my opinion, and that is a personal favourite of mine. The Orca doesn't feel quite on the same level as that, but it's still a great representation of the location and of the team, and it's very well branded, so it definitely deserves to be in the very solid category within my rankings. In 18th spot are the Buffalo Sabres. Their logo is a symbol of luck and of combat, which feels like a very sporty logo, which I appreciate. But the design is still pretty simple. It's encased in that circular thing once again, which, yeah, I don't love circular designs either. I prefer just shapes that aren't circles. But yeah, circular design's not my favourite. It's pretty simple, of course, with the bisons in it, but I don't mind it. It's okay. It's solid enough to get it an 18th spot anyway. Oh, and I'm okay with that shade of blue with the yellow. The light blue, I do like. In at 17th spot are the San Jose Sharks. San Jose have been very consistent with their branding and with their logo, and it's changed very little over time, and I don't blame them. Their logo is cool, their teal is beautiful. I love the shark, but what I love even more, and what really put it this high up in my rankings, is the fact that the logo was created using manual techniques, because computer generated logos just didn't exist at the time. I can appreciate that craft, and it definitely puts it higher up my list for that. I like the fact that it was manufactured differently and that they have maintained that same logo despite the advancements in technology. In at 16th spot, we've got the St. Louis Blues. I feel like it's a kind of underrated design with the musical note with a wing on it. It just really effectively symbolises the city's association with blues singers. The colour goes well with the brand, the logo is very sleek and nicely done, but it's also well thought out with good intentions behind it, so it definitely belongs in this sort of middle category, I guess. I mean, it could be higher up, but there's just so many good ones. This ranking was actually really hard to do. It was harder than I thought, and I changed it around so many times because there's no logos that I hate. I wouldn't say there's any NHL logos that I really don't like. And so I had to really spend some time going back and forth with what should go where. And I ended up putting St. Louis right in the middle, even though I love their design. I do love it. Another middle of the pack logo for me, and one that is in 15th spot, is the Ottawa Senators. I really like the side profile of the Roman Centurion, and I like the fact that they've kept it in their design, because throughout all the iterations of their logos they have always had a Roman general in it, and so I like the fact that they've kept that consistency even as the designs have changed. Red and black colour schemes are not one of my favourites, hence another problem I have with Carolina's. and so that's why Ottawa's not any higher up, but I do like it. It's a good logo. In at 14th spot are the Pittsburgh Penguins, and if you follow me on Twitter or X or whatever the hell you want to call that app, then you might have seen my post from when the Leafs were playing Pittsburgh, and it was just a jokey kind of post, but it was about the fact that I have a personal vendetta against the Pittsburgh Penguins because a few of my ex-boyfriends are Pittsburgh fans, and unfortunately that probably does slightly taint my view of the logo too. There's just a lot of Pittsburgh fans over here. It's definitely because of Crosby and, you know, I guess the excitement around that and the excitement around being a Pittsburgh fan. I see so many people wearing Penguins jerseys. There's just so many. But unfortunately I feel like sometimes if you date a couple people who like a certain team, it can maybe sour you off the team a little. I'm just kidding. I have nothing really against Pittsburgh. I am kidding, of course. I don't seriously dislike the Pittsburgh Penguins because I have exes that like them. But nonetheless, yeah, their logo is very iconic. As I say, I feel like I see a lot of people wearing that jersey over here, so it seems a very popular choice. The penguin is cute, of course. I like any logos with animals in it because I am a simple human being, and if it's got an animal, I'm probably going to like it more. The golden triangle behind it symbolises downtown Pittsburgh, so yeah, it's a good logo. It's in 14th spot overall, which I feel like is a very solid ranking. In 13th place, I have got the Chicago Blackhawks. Of course, there's been some controversy around the original use of this logo design, however, it's definitely one of the most recognised in the league. I am a little bit biased towards original six teams a lot of the time. I won't lie, I'm one of those people, I know. But I'm a massive history lover. I love history and I love heritage, and I just, there's something about teams that are old that usually I am quite fond of a lot of things to do with those teams. And so Chicago are definitely an example of that. I feel like people really know the brand well. They know that it's the Blackhawks, they know it's Chicago. It's got very close ties with the city, and so I can appreciate that, and so it belongs for me in 13th place. In at number 12, I have got the Anaheim Ducks. Yep, we've got another animal logo, that's right. Even though I think it was better with the teal still in it, I am so glad they've brought back the Mighty Ducks logo, because that other one they had, the one with just the duck's foot in the D, I did not like that. I did not like that. If they were using that logo, that one would have been in last place. I really do not like that. This one is much better, and that's what's getting it into 12th place on my rankings. And in 11th spot, just outside the top 10, I have got the Vegas Golden Knights. Golden for Nevada State Metal, the Knights for resilience and for courage. It's very Vegas. It's very bold and glittery and gold, and just, it epitomises the place of Vegas, which I think makes it a really strong brand and a really good logo. I think it's perfectly themed for both the team and for the city, and I love when teams do that, when teams can make it more than just a colour scheme, more than just a logo, more than a mascot, but when it becomes an integrated part of the team's culture and where they are. I love to see that in a logo, and I do think that Vegas is a good example of that, and a lot of the teams in this top 10 also have got those features. And so in at 10th spot, I have got the Philadelphia Flyers. I feel like it's a very recognisable logo once again, which really bumps it up the list. It's got the P for Philadelphia, and the logo stands for speed, power and Philly toughness. I really like that, and again, it sort of embodies not just the team but the city as a whole, and that is something that I appreciate. In 9th place, I have got the Utah Mammoth, the newest brand to enter the NHL. Not only is the design itself really clean, but there's a great integration of the state of Utah with the snow-capped mountain peaks. There are jagged lines which form an M shape, and there's also a U to be found within the mammoth's tusk, and those are details that I just love. The colour scheme is immaculate. Again, it's all very well branded. I think one of the benefits that newer teams have is that because they have a clean slate to start off of, they just sometimes come up with these amazing designs, and I love Utah's. I love what they're doing. When they announced that it was Mammoth for the name, I was skeptical. It was not one of the names that I was hoping for the team to be called. I think there were cooler names to be had, but honestly, this logo and this whole brand design has actually convinced me that the Utah Mammoth is a totally great name for a hockey team now. So I guess They've done it really well. In an 8th spot for me, I have got the New York Rangers. Once again, I love Original Six teams and their brands. They're really special to me. The Rangers logo is, obviously it's really good, right? Like all of the Rangers logos are pretty good. I think that the Rangers logo is so closely intertwined with New York sports history and just the city of New York as a whole. And I can't help but love it. I just think it looks really good. I do love when it's just Rangers written across the jerseys, but the actual logo itself is also really good and well put together. Even if the name Rangers and the colour scheme of red, white and blue hits a little close to home as someone who's Scottish. In 7th spot, I have got the Boston Bruins. Yes, another Original Six team in the top 10, I know. It's one of the simplest designs in the league, and yet the details of it have been updated so many times throughout the logo's history. The spoked bee is once again part of not just Boston's history, but NHL heritage as a whole. It's just a legendary logo, you know? And in 6th spot, I've got the Detroit Red Wings. You can see the trend here, you can see the pattern, and I know that some people are going to be mad about it, but this is my personal rankings. You can feel free to disagree. I just think that Detroit's logo, the winged wheel, is perfect for the Motor City. It's got this lovely vintage feel to it, which they've managed to keep while modernising the logo, and I think it takes real skill to keep the vintage feel of something while modernising it, and I think that they've perfectly mastered that. Again, one of the most iconic logos in the sport. Love it. And in 5th place, I've got the Montreal Canadiens. This is, you know what, I didn't realise just how much of a trend there really was when I was writing this, but here we are, another Original Six team. I'm a diehard Leafs fan, and even I can appreciate the impact that the Montreal Canadiens logo has had on hockey history and on hockey culture as a whole. It's one of the logos of the sport and it needs to be appreciated as such. Even though it's funny that the Habs nickname comes from the H in it, even though the H was nothing to do with habitants. That is quite funny to have a nickname after something which was actually inaccurate. But I couldn't rank logos without putting the Montreal Canadiens in the top 5. In 4th spot, I have got the Colorado Avalanche. I am obsessed with clever graphic design, and Colorado have perfected that basically. It just doesn't get much better than the Avs. The colour scheme is stunning, and I think you really associate it with Colorado now. The A designed like a mountain with the puck flowing down it. It's just perfectly on brand and it's immaculately executed. It's a wonderful design. Honestly, a 10 out of 10. I wouldn't know how to improve on this logo, and I know that you might think it's in 4th spot, like what? But the top 4 in particular, I could not separate. I just could not separate. I love them all so much. Colorado Avalanche, absolute masters of the logo. So smart, so good. In 3rd place, I've got the Seattle Kraken, another one of the newest additions to the NHL. The city's hockey and maritime history are perfectly woven into this logo in a beautiful design. I also love how the logo sits so well alongside other Seattle sports teams like the Mariners. Just a very cohesive brand across the sports teams, and I love it. A good nod to the Seattle Metropolitans, of course. The colours are a perfect sea-themed palette, and it's all topped off by that hidden tentacle and red eye, which are just perfectly built into such a seemingly simple S shape. Just a masterclass in graphic design, very similar to Colorado. I love it. I love the fact it's not overly complicated to look at upon first glance, but it's got enough detail that it has deeper meanings to it. It's stunning. Okay, in its 2nd spot, and if you've been keeping up, you'll know which 2 teams are missing, and you can probably guess which one's going to be first. So in 2nd spot, I've got the Minnesota Wild. Their logo is literally an optical illusion, and it is so clever. It's shaped like a bear type creature. I know there's a little debate over what animal exactly it is, but within that silhouette there is a whole landscape with a forest in it, a river and a North Star. The colours are perfect, the logo is perfect. You look at it and it's like, what do you see first? And actually let me know down in the comments below, because as I say, it's technically an optical illusion. When you glance at the Minnesota Wild logo, do you see the silhouette of the animal or do you see the landscape first? Which one of those do you see first? Let me know in the comments. And in 1st place, in top spot, which is no surprise to anybody, the best logo in the NHL, in my opinion, is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Am I biased? Yes. But do I genuinely love the Leafs logo and think that it's a classic, beautiful design? Also yes. This current team logo was heavily inspired by the logos from the 1940s and the 1960s, including when the last won the cup in 1967. The Leaf has 31 points for the opening of Maple Leaf Gardens in 1931, 17 veins in total for the founding year of 1917, and 13 veins up top for the number of Stanley Cups the team has won in its history. It's a badge of courage inspired by the maple leaf worn by Canadian soldiers in World War I, and I am so proud to have a team that has such a wonderful logo. I started watching hockey in 2016, which is of course when the Leafs underwent this rebrand and they changed their logo into what it is today. And so it's got even more of a special place to me because it's the only logo I've ever known. And that logo means so much more to me than just being the symbol of my team. Because hockey, and Leafs hockey in particular, is such an important part of my life. It really, really truly is. And I don't know who I would be without supporting the Leafs. And so there was no way I could put any other logo apart from the Leafs at the top of this list. There's no way I could do it. I think the NHL has some of the best sports logos in the entirety of the sports industry, to be honest. And so lists like this one are really hard to put together, to be honest, because as I said before, there aren't any logos that I really dislike by any means. There's no logos that I hate, and I think that they all have got great attributes to them. But nonetheless, that is my ranking of every NHL logo as of the 2025-26 season. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what are your favourite logos, what are your least favourites and why. I also love filming videos like this. I find them really fun to research and write and film and edit. So if there's any other sort of tier lists or rankings, anything to do with hockey or any other sports that I watch, then leave me a comment down below and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover in a video. Once again, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also hit the little notification bell so that you get notified every single time I post a video. I'm going to get back to posting videos every single week now that I'm kind of settling into a routine. I've had some changes in my work career life lately, which I'm just busier than I was before, so that's why I've been a little hit and miss with the videos, but I will get back into a regular upload schedule. But hit the notification bell so that you know every single time I've posted. Please like this video if you did enjoy it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more hockey chats from across the pond. Bye guys.